If you want to learn about how you can ride your horse 20 miles along the Atlantic Ocean, as well as support the American Heart Association at the same time, stay tuned to Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Lakewood Camping Resort in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the American Heart Association's 21st annual horseback ride-a-thon that'll be held here this weekend at Lakewood. And we're visiting with one of the representatives of the silver sponsor, Dixie Stampede, Chandra Hughes. Chandra, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Incredible opportunity to think about what Dixie Stampede is recognized as a great opportunity not only to support the Heart Association, but also to get out and support horseback riders who'll be here from all over the country, out here on the beach right behind us, riding upwards of 20 miles.
Yes, it's very exciting.
On Saturday, and for, of course, Saturday and Sunday, they can get out and ride almost a little more than 20 miles, and on Thursday and Friday, they can still ride around 4 miles here. How long real quick about yourself, Chandra, are you originally from the area?
Actually, I'm from Conway, born and raised.
Okay, great. Great. And you have been with Dixie Stampede for how long?
I've worked in the marketing department for 1.5 years now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers a little bit about Dixie Stampede for the viewers in the PD or southeastern North Carolina who may not be familiar with Dixie Stampede.
Well, the Dixie Stampede is one of the most unique dinner attractions in the country. We start your night off in our carriage room where Greg Anderson and his quarter-horse stallion, Starstruck, will entertain you. Then you'll move into our main arena, where you'll see 32 horses, trick riders, dancers, singers, ostrich races, pig races, chicken chases, just an absolutely great time, while you eat a 4-course feast, which consists of a whole chicken, pork loin, corn on the cob, potatoes, soup, biscuit, and our famous Dixie dessert. It's one of the most fun places you'll eat in the Myrtle Beach area.
I bet. That must be wonderful. How long has Dixie Stampede been open?
Well, the Dixie Stampede originated in Pigeon Forge in 1988. Then we opened our second Dixie Stampede here in Myrtle Beach in 1992. We also have one in Branson, Missouri, and we'll be opening one in Orlando next year.
In Orlando?
In Orlando. We're very excited about that.
Did you see how many shows there are per week?
Well, actually, our Christmas show begins this Friday, which is a show you do not want to miss. We have a live nativity scene that we're bringing back this year with camels, sheep, goats, the works, and we're also adding new feature, which is ice skating. And we have our shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. How many horses does it take, Chandra, to put on a show?
Well, we have about 40 horses at the Dixie Stampede, but in the show we have 32. We let them relax for a while. We take them out to a field and let them run around to let them have a vacation.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. So 32 to put on a show, so horses are an integral part of the show.
They are. They are.
Very definitely. Do you know how many years the Dixie Stampede has sponsored the Horseback Ride-a-thon?
We started sponsoring it in 1993, so about 9 years.
How about, do you know how many riders from the show will be participating in the ride-a-thon?
We have about 8 riders that will be participating.
Great.
We're very excited.
Very definitely. Do you have any friends or family who'll be participating in the ride-a-thon?
I do have some friends. Stephanie Bellamy, Chris Helms, Toby Graham, Jennifer Stensler, all great friends of mine. They'll be participating.
How about what the Dixie Stampede riders will be doing at the event?
Well, unfortunately, we have 4 shows that day, so we're doing the ride, and we're also going to be in the parade. But we want to give them a little bit of relaxation before they get back to do those 4 shows.
Shauna, real quick, about growing up in Conway, did you ride horses a lot?
No, actually, I didn't ride horses a lot. I did grow up out on a farm, but we didn't have horses. We had cows and pigs and chickens. But I took some lessons from Rock Smith. He's our production business manager over at the Dixie Stampede. I've taken some lessons from him, and I really do enjoy riding horses. They're a lot of fun.
I'm sure. Chandra, had you participated in the event in the past?
No, I haven't. Last year I couldn't do it because I was doing the Boy Scout, Girl Scout shows, which are the same day, and I'll be doing that again this year.
Right. Golly. So we will not see Chandra Hughes out here on Saturday. We'll see 8 of the other riders out. Should be spectacular. What about the why you think Dixie Stampede has chosen to support the ride-a-thon?
Well, one of the main reasons that we support it is because you guys have horses in the ride-a-thon, and that relates to our show with our live horses. Also, it is because it's a good cause.
Very definitely. Very definitely. Have you ever ridden on the beach?
I haven't, which I'm very upset that I'm going to miss it this year.
Yes, very definitely. Chanda, a lot of viewers may have come in contact with you in another something separate, totally separate from Dixie Stampede. I think you were a representative for the greater Myrtle Beach area, traveled all over the area for a heck of a long time. In what capacity was that?
I was Miss Bikini Wahine 2002, and I worked for the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, promoting the Grand Strand.
Great. And what exactly, for viewers who may not be familiar with Miss Bikini Wahine, what exactly is that?
Well, she is one of the Sun Fun Festival queens, and she goes throughout the region promoting the Sun Fun Festival for the Grand Strand.
Oh, great. Well, that's fantastic. Chandra Hughes, a marketing representative for Dixie Stampede, won't be with us this Saturday at the event. Will be supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs. But unfortunately, or fortunately, a heck of a lot of Dixie Stampede riders will be out here. You get out to see them this Saturday at the event. Chandra, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg. It's a joy being here.
Very definitely. Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Lakewood Camp and Resort in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the American Heart Association's 21st annual horseback ride-a-thon to be held here at Lakewood this weekend. And we're visiting with one of the presenting sponsors, or the presenting sponsor, Lori Gale. Lori,
hi.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Of course, there are three presenting sponsors, Bobby Gale Dodge, Myrtle Beach Chrysler Jeep, and Heavenscape Stables,
yes,
of which you are actively involved as owner-operator,
yes,
and you and your husband own those three businesses, I guess, together.
Yes.
Thank you so much for making that commitment to the Heart Association.
That's
a big commitment as the diamond sponsor, the presenting sponsor this year. The opportunity to celebrate horse riders and horse lovers and horses, the opportunity to get out on the ocean to ride, but the opportunity to help the Heart Association, I'm sure, is the highlight of it all.
Yes, we really fits close to our hearts, no pun intended, that we wanted to sponsor the Heart Ride because of, family history. My husband's mother passed away 2 years ago from heart disease, and it runs in the family. So that gave us the opportunity to combine two things, his love for his mother and our love for horseback riding.
Very definitely. Lori, for the viewers real quick, are you originally from the area?
No, I'm originally from Alabama.
Ooh, yeah.
My mother was born in Loris.
Your mother's born in Loris?
Yes.
Is she still living?
Yes, she is alive. They live in Fort Mill now.
Okay, right. And you have family here in the area? Do you have any children?
I have 3 children. I have 2 boys and a girl. They're all riders. They ride English. They ride Western. They enjoy horses as much as I do.
They've been raised on horseback?
The oldest was definitely raised on horseback. Now, the 2 boys, they've been given the option and never been pushed into it. Now they're deciding they really like it.
Oh, yeah.
And by not pushing them, the daughter, Jasmine, she rode before she could walk.
Mm-hmm. Will they be out here with you this weekend?
Yes, they will be here. We'll actually have 18 riders from our barn. It'll be 3 families. Each of the families have 3 children, ranging from the ages of 5 to 20, and everything in between. They are all just wonderful riders. They've been on the beach ride before, and we've invited them to join with us. The camaraderie that you get from just being down on the beach, with your friends and riding, it's just a very peaceful thing.
I bet. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about Heavenscape Stables? How long that's been around? And
we purchased the farm 4 years ago. We're in the process of working towards goals of breeding and raising paint horses. But my biggest heart for me is when I was 9 years old, I got my first horse. I could have killed it with kindness within the first 6 months because I had not a clue what I was doing. My parents bought me a stallion, which I had no business having. So what I want to do is train children, teach children how to care for the animals, what to do, what not to do, give them the opportunity to come out, lease a horse, and really know if that's what they want to commit their life to. It's an expense a parent should not have to go to. It's not like buying a hamster. Mommy and Daddy don't want to take care of it. I want to be sure that that child really wants to take care of that animal and love that animal. So we lease horses, and I teach them to care for them.
That's a huge commitment on your part, Lori. When you think about it, I mean, everyone would love the opportunity as a business owner, a salesperson, to possibly get out there and sell someone a horse. And I guess seeing some disgruntled parents or concerned parents who say, my cow, my child's doing nothing with this thing.
Right.
We spent a fortune on this. How can you take it back? And, of course, if you've sold it, it's difficult to, but the opportunity to lease, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great commitment on your part.
We do it for ponies, and we do it with large quarter horses. We have a large array of horses on the farm. We have quarter horses, we have paints, Arabians, ponies, Welsh. So we have something for everyone's taste.
And the programs that are run are almost exclusively focused to children, or do you also have focus for adults?
Adults don't tend to want to listen as well as children. They have this mindset that they already know what they're doing. And so I like to work with children. I'm more than willing to work with adults, but my heart is in working with the kids.
Speaking of kids, what benefit do you think the kids receive from their involvement with horses at a young age or even at an older age, or particularly kids?
There's a quote by Teddy Roosevelt, and it says, the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man. And it is so true. They are very calming animals. They respond to human contact. They respond to human emotion. The children receive so much love from the animal. In return, they learn to respect the animal, more so than they would a hamster or a fish. I mean, you're a 1,000-pound animal, you have to have respect for it. So it helps teach them respect for the future. They learn discipline. They learn horses have to be fed on certain schedules. And just because you don't feel like, getting up out of the bed and going out there, sorry, you have to, because it's your job. And I feel like it teaches them responsibility, but they get so much love from the animal in return.
I was just going to ask you what some of the classes are that are taught at Heaven's Gate, but and I'm sure you probably don't title them responsibility and early training, but...
Well, we basically start out by teaching them to groom the animal, which allows the child to get used to just being around them. Some of them have never been around horses before, and they can be, scared. So we start out with them just grooming, and they may groom the smallest, they may groom a baby, and then they work their way up. They'll do lead line lessons where I actually have a hold of the pony or horse the whole time they're on it. They work their way from there to independent riding lessons. We want to teach them to independently ride with a strong seat, and so we do some bareback and things like that to develop their muscles. It's also great, leg muscles, back muscles. It develops posture. These things come with riding.
Speaking of posture, it's sitting on these stools. It's a chore. So teaching a child at an early age the importance of good posture is a big deal, particularly riding on a horse. It's probably similar to riding on a horse. How long have you and Bobby been involved with supporting the Heart Association, particularly the Ride-a-thon?
4 years.
Okay.
I rode for the first time 4 years ago. And the first time that I rode by myself. I went around and collected money, and I think I was a third-place fundraiser or something like that. The next year, once my husband came down and saw what was really going on, he became very interested in it, and realized that I was raising money for a cause that was good. So he became involved. Now he rides with us, the children ride with us, and so that makes me happy.
And you spoke about a lot of family and friends that'll be out here.
Yes, yes. There'll be 18 riders.
You said, I think, earlier that a particular incident was Bobby's mother's fight with heart disease.
Yes, my husband's mother passed away 2 years ago from hyperpulmonary tension. It's a very rare heart disease. She was diagnosed with it almost 10 years prior to that. She went through different surgeries and medications, and was able to be with us for a very long time because they originally gave her 6 months to live. And 2 years ago, she passed away.
Just one last question, Lori. The importance for you in the ride-a-thon, anything that is the most thrilling for you as a rider, as a horse lover, as a trainer?
To go down on the beach and see riders of every discipline, of every breed of horse, from the smallest pony to the largest draft, all come together and set aside, well, I ride English or I ride Western, for a common cause. And it is a beautiful sight to see all these different riders out there and all these different horses. And you have the opportunity to meet people that, learn things. If nothing else, just talk and learn.
Viewers got the opportunity to come out, talk and learn about horses. There'll be almost 1,000 riders out here this weekend. You can come out, you can register as late as Saturday morning. Get out here, have an opportunity to meet Lori and her husband Bobby, who are the presenting sponsors of this year's Ride-a-thon. Lori, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at Lakewood Camp and Resort in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the American Heart Association's 21st annual horseback ride-a-thon that'll be held here at Lakewood, and we're visiting with one of the riders who's been riding all 21 years, Kenny Wells. Kenny, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Pleasure.
I hadn't said that you're the president of Coastal Business Brokers, but that surely ties in. Does it tie in any way to the ride-a-thon itself? Do you see many of your clients out here?
Yes.
You do?
By all means.
Are you originally from the area, Kenny?
Born and raised.
Here in Myrtle Beach?
My dad owned one of the first convenience stores, one of the first ABC stores.
Is that right?
Right.
Do you have a family here still in the area?
My mother and my father still live here.
Is that right? Great. Well, what about Coastal Business Brokers? How long has that been in existence?
This is our 19th year.
Is that right? So it more or less follows the track of the ride-a-thon.
It does.
You all have been, you started riding a couple years before you founded the Coastal Business Brokers.
Correct.
How about clients here in the area? Buyers and sellers both? You represent both sides?
Both sides. Anywhere in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, or all the counties.
In South Carolina. Do you have any clients over in North Carolina?
Some in North Carolina.
So some of the viewers up in Robinson, Scotland County, or Columbus County,
Charlotte,
Brunswick County?
Greensboro, Winston-Salem, that area.
Do you specialize in any region or any type of business?
We sell anything anybody wants to buy.
Is that right?
From mom and pops to commercial, I mean, you name it, we sell it.
Do you own any livestock? Are you involved in any livestock?
I have 18 horses, 1 bull, 3 border collies. 18
horses, 1 bull, and 3 border collies.
Right.
Is that right? Will you be out at obviously you'll be at the ride-a-thon if you've been riding, this will be your 21st year riding. Will you be bringing any of those livestock out?
I'll be bringing my bull, Texas Longhorn Jock. I'll be bringing a paint mule, a couple of stallions.
Great.
I have several people coming with me that ride some of my stock.
This will be a huge weekend then.
Oh, yeah.
And a huge couple of days. Obviously, folks can get out and register today if they haven't yet registered. Tomorrow, even up as late as Saturday morning.
Correct.
Which is wonderful. Are you involved in any other equestrian events around the state or around the region?
I'm involved with the Horse Council for South Carolina.
Okay. What is that?
It's a group that we've put together to the horse industry. This is the first time in history in the state of South Carolina that the horse industry is #1 over tobacco and swine #3. So it's getting to be a bigger and bigger business every day for the equine.
The equine or horse industry is #1 in South Carolina? Over tobacco and over swine?
Tobacco's #2, swine's #3.
That's amazing. I'm not a viewer who's too familiar with the equine industry, but how are those numbers calculated?
We were at a meeting the other night, and I can't recall the gentleman's name from Columbia, but he told us when we went in, there was 85 people that checked in. You sign in, your name, how many horses you have, and 85 people represented 1,400 horses at that meeting. That tells you how strong it is. Mm-hmm. And it's getting bigger every day.
How did you first become involved in the ride-a-thon, Kenny, and in supporting the Heart Association?
When they wanted to take away our rights to ride on the beach. I used to come up from school and get on my horse and ride down to the beach, right down the boulevard. And they tried to take that away from us. The Heart Fund stepped in and said, this organization, they can help each other. Mm-hmm. And that's what got me involved.
That's amazing. So you've been working with the event all 21 years?
No, I haven't been working. I've only worked with them the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about you or any family members or friends riding the event this weekend? I know you said some of the folks who ride with you.
Myself, my wife, my daughter's supposed to come up from Charleston and ride with us. I've got about 7 or 8 friends are coming riding some of my stock.
Great. What do you enjoy most about the ride-a-thon?
Meeting the people from everywhere, because I go on a lot of horse rides from here to Tennessee to North Carolina, Virginia, and there'll be people that far away riding at this ride. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I invited a little over 200 people at the ride this past weekend to come up for it.
You were at a ride
this past weekend.
Is that right? Where was that held?
Manchester State Park.
Okay, and I think Tammy Eve said earlier this week, I think there's another event being held at Manchester this weekend on the same...
This coming weekend, same as the Heart Fund ride.
Right.
There's rides. It's gotten so big, there's rides everywhere, and you can't be at all of them.
Why do you think the ride-a-thon is such a special event for the riders?
Probably 60% of them will come from the mountain area that mm-hmm. want to ride on the beach. And, it's an opportunity for them to ride on the beach. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What would you think would be the most important need if, obviously the Heart Association still needs some volunteers for this weekend. As a rider yourself, what would you recognize as probably the most important need for volunteers out here? Helping out on registration. I think Elizabeth Barnett mentioned yesterday.
A little of everything. That taking control of the riders on the beach, making sure if anybody's got a problem, somebody's there to help them. Mm-hmm. But you got some horses that's never been on the beach before. They'll spook from the waves, seagulls, tourists snapping pictures. So you need a lot of people helping in a lot of areas.
Absolutely. I know one of the guests on tomorrow, Leon Todd, I know is really involved with all the vendors are coming in, all the horse riders, making sure everyone gets to the right place with. I think early in the week we heard there are 1,800 campsites out here at Lakewood, an incredible number of folks who will be out here, and I think they're expecting upwards, hopefully, to get 1,000 riders out here this weekend.
See, 1,000 riders will use more than 1,000 campsites.
Oh, I bet.
Usually, if they come from North Carolina, there'll be one person with a truck with horses, one camper, so you got a lot of... I hope to fill up the campground for everybody's sake.
That would be great. Why do you think it's important for the community to support the ride-a-thon and the Heart Association?
For the community, well, it helps the Heart Fund Association, which need the money to reach their goals. Right. It helps everybody, the economy. I mean, the ones that don't stay in the campground stay in motels. The stores benefit from it.
Very definitely. And I guess the opportunity to make sure the event is preserved for horse riders who want to get out on the beach.
Correct. For
future years.
If we don't do it, we lose our ability to ride on the beach. I mean, where's these people going to go? Mm-hmm. You've got I'm sorry?
No. I was just thinking, from your perspective, Kenny, how the ride has changed over the years that you've participated. Think about it, 21 years ago versus today. What are some of the changes that you've seen?
21 years ago, you'd see about 10 or 15 people riding horses on the beach. Now, after the Heart Fund kicks off, where the people can come, every weekend there's people down here. You might come on a Saturday or Sunday, and see 20 people, you might see 120 people. And these people are bringing money to stay in motels, stay in campgrounds. The supermarkets benefit from it. The shows at nighttime benefit.
Very definitely. Kenny Wells, president of Coastal Business Brokers, a rider for the last 21 years here at the Heart Association's annual horseback ride-a-thon. Come out and see Kenny, and come out and see his 2,400-pound bull that he'll be bringing with him this weekend. Kenny, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Pleasure, pleasure.
Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. We want to send a big thanks out to the Perry family and Lakewood Camping Resort, as well as to Tammy Eves and all the staff and volunteers of the American Heart Association for making Carolina People such a great success.